Hello, and welcome to my live. My name is Ethel. I'm a certified neurotransformational life coach, Akashic Record practitioner, light language channel, and psychic. So today's topic is about self-awareness and healing. So sometimes it feels like, or it may feel like, this world is kind of like set up for limitation. And I'm not sure if you know this or not, but your energy is one of the most important currencies there is. And it may look like and feel like everyone is fighting for your energy and your attention, on TV, they call it television, and so they're telling you a vision that is not of your choosing, right? Now, there is entertainment and stuff like that, but in some of the shows that we watch and some of the things that we watch have certain embedded messages in them that go straight to your subconscious mind. And so self-awareness is very, very important because most of the time we are asleep when we are not aware of our energy and how we are using our energy every day, or the programs that are in the subconscious mind that we are reacting from. So we've all been through, maybe trauma, especially when we are a kid. I'll speak for myself. I grew up in a household where I experienced a lot of trauma, and I was programmed to believe that I wasn't good enough, right? And so everybody treated me like I really wasn't valuable at all. So as I grew older, that solidified in my subconscious mind. And so with that being said, everything that I attracted was, I attracted people that reaffirmed what was going on in the subconscious mind, that I wasn't good enough. And, they played messages to reaffirm what I believed. The subconscious mind is very, very powerful, and it doesn't know the difference between what is happening now in your third dimensional level experience and what's going on in your mind, right? And so when someone is programming you with a program of limitation of any kind, it's going straight to the subconscious, depending on how susceptible you are. Right? If you have a program of, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, then it's very easy for people to come in with their own agendas and program you to believe that, you are not all that, you're not worthy, right? Here's what happens when you become aware of yourself after healing all the limitation and negative programming. You begin to feel the energy of who you are, the truth of who you are, right, for the first time. And it feels really good. It feels like you are your own person, that no one else is influencing your energy, no one else is influencing your thoughts and programming you with things that go against who you really are. Now, depending on who's in your life, you may find that some people are not comfortable with your change, your growth. There are people that like you when you are broken, right? Maybe because these people running certain energetic programs on you that you're not aware of to keep you believing that you're not good enough. It can be evident in their behavior, how they act towards you, how they be around you. And then these are the same people that are going to react majorly when you change yourself. I used to think that when I achieved something that I was manifesting, that everyone would be happy for me. I was very wrong. When I manifested two things that I really wanted, a loving relationship and my 2025 Range Rover, I thought that everyone in my life would be happy for me. Boy, was I wrong. So two people, after I manifested what I wanted to get close to me, right? They saw the change. They're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And I thought they were happy, right? They were love bombing me and doing certain things to make me feel like, I don't know. I think they probably put me on, at least one of them put me on a pedestal for a little bit, getting close to me. And then after she got a reading from me, the Akashic Record Reading, which, is just an invaluable resource. She got a reading from me to clear certain blocks that were in her way, which she wanted to manifest a boyfriend. Well, she did clear her record and manifested a boyfriend. I'm not kidding you, literally in 2 weeks, right? And so this is why I love the Akashic Record. It's like it gets rid of anything that's in your subconscious mind and anything that is coming with you energetically that you are not aware of, that you are unconscious to, and heals that from your divine soul blueprint so that you can begin to manifest from a place of authentic alignment, right? So she manifested this boyfriend. And one day I made a post about a situation that I experienced. Someone else. Oh, hi everyone. I'm so sorry. KDO360. Welcome. Yogini. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. So I got attacked by a witch that I didn't know was a witch. I thought she was a friend. This friend I met I want to say 2 weeks after I did the session for the girl that was putting me on a pedestal, right? So this girl, I didn't know she was a witch. She put some stuff on me, right? It's a long story. One moment. So anytime I feel a little bit off in my energy, I always go into my Akashic Record to find out what's happening, right? Because the Akashic Record is literally an information database. It's an energetic information database that kind of keeps the record of everything that we think about, actions we take, and what's in the subconscious mind, and how we got programmed to think however and to feel however, whatever. Anyway, so I went in there, and obviously they don't lie. Akashic Records will reveal the truth of what's going on in the subconscious and in the astral realms. Anyway, I found out that this girl did not like me. She was getting close to me because she wanted to program me and actually put some weird shit on my life so that I'm not myself. It's crazy. Anyway, so I cleared that, and then I made a post on Facebook. I was like, be careful who you bring around you. Not every friend is really your friend. Some of them are drawn to your aura, your energy, and how you carry yourself, and also your life, because they see that you are happy. They don't want to see you happy, especially people that have been trying to manifest things for a long time, and they feel like everything they've done hasn't really worked, and they meet you. It's like, well, how come you get to have what I want? Right? And so it's like, okay, I've tried everything, nothing has worked. I'm gonna get close to her so I can have some of her energy and then program her, put some negative shit on her life. It's fucked up thinking, I know. But anyway, I made the post on Facebook. She saw it and she was like, the girl that got the Akashic Record reading from me. And she was like, hi girl, I hope you're doing okay. And then she texts me and she's like, I wanna tell you all the good things that just happened in my life. Can I call you? I'm like, yeah, sure, call me. So we got on the phone and we're talking. She's like, oh my God, I manifested my boyfriend. I know, as you know, I just got done I just cleared my Akashic Record last week, and I'm so happy. By the way, she never said thank you. She wanted to talk to me about the good thing that happened in her life, which is fine. Yeah, I was happy for her. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. Would you like to do a testimonial, just, to help other people that may want to be getting a reading, but they're not really convinced or whatever? Would you be open to that? And she said, I'll try. Okay. Do you want to know why I asked for a testimonial? It's not because I want to toot my own horn or coming from an ego thing. No. Energy is energy, and there are laws in place, laws of the universe. You can't just get something for free without giving something, right? So basically I was looking out for her, and honestly, I couldn't care less whether, her testimonial was on my website or not. I was looking out for her because I know how energy works. If you're always getting something for free all the time, there's an imbalance there energetically. It's like you're not here to just take. You gotta offer something, a thank you, which she never did, something, right? So that there's balance in your life. And yeah, energetically, everything, is balanced and stuff when you at least say thank you or even like a simple testimonial. Nope, she never did. Well, after that, her face kept popping up in my life. Like, I would go about my day doing mundane stuff, and all of a sudden her face would pop up in my mind. And then I'll be like, okay, that's weird. So never thought anything of it, went about my day. And then 2 days later, something strange happened to me. And I talk about this story on my page here. I made a 2-part series about that. I had a weird dream, right? So she basically sent a creature that came from water. It was dressed in like a white sheet tied around around the waist, and then it didn't have any top on or anything. And it had like long honey blonde hair, and then everything was shimmering like she just came from water. But it wasn't human, right? So in the dream, I'm sitting on the couch and it just popped up in front of me. It didn't see me. It was looking the other way. It started walking towards my fiance's room. And then I saw it. I was like, oh my God. I was repelled by the energy that I felt from it. So I started calling his name. I started calling him. He wasn't picking up. So I started calling him louder. And then all of a sudden, it reached a point where it couldn't go in, right? For some reason, it stopped there and could not go any further. And to me, it felt like, yeah, it wasn't human. Like it wasn't thinking, like it was being directed by something. Anyway, it stopped and disappeared and then came to where I was sitting in the living room in the dream. And then kind of looked at me like it was curious. And then its skin kind of turned like a raisin. Like something that died a long time ago. And like it's like the skin of a mummy. I don't know. I don't know what a mummy looks like in person, but I've seen movies, right? And anyway, it looked like that, but it didn't have the white bandage and stuff. Yeah, the skin turned into like a raisin and then disappeared right in front of me. And I knew that it was out of the house when that happened. You want to know what happened? Immediately her face popped into my mind again. And my spirit guide said, yeah, she sent it here. She wanted to sabotage my relationship with my fiance. And she wanted me to suffer. She wanted me to have nothing. Mind you, I've never done anything to this girl. She's my cousin. And I did not know, in the years that I've known her, I did not know that she didn't like me, that she wanted me to have nothing. You want something similar to what someone else have. You don't go about it by doing dark magic, by doing witchcraft, to try and sabotage someone's life just because you think you can't have it. This is what the subconscious mind reveals to us. It's like, what program are you running? Are you working on? Are you reacting and acting from? That's a scarcity consciousness, right? It's like we are all powerful and we're here to really find out who we are so that we can begin to create from a place of authentic alignment. My heart is in helping people. And so this opened my eyes to really be careful about who you bring in your life, because not everyone has good intentions. Not everyone's going to be happy for you. And I don't have any friends anymore. I really don't. And I'm very picky about who I bring in my life now, because I know too much. I've seen too much. I've experienced too much to be influenced. And my energy, I hold my energy very sacred. Like, this goes back to what I'm talking about. Energy, your energy is very sacred. And if you are unaware of what's happening at an energy level in your life, you can be easily influenced and you have no idea. You are asleep. Your subconscious mind is just running on the default intention and default program that has been embedded inside. And so this is why self-awareness is very, very important, so that you can begin to create your life the way that you want without anyone else's energies entangled in your subconscious mind and in your life. A program that really stayed with me from the age of 11 to 22 was that I wasn't good enough. My uncle programmed me to believe that I'll never really amount to anything. Welcome, Forever Blessed, KN and Starlight. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. But anyway, so the way these programs happen is repeating something over and over and over and over again, especially when we're young. We're living in such a higher state. We're not like always on the third dimension. And for me, when I was younger, when I was about 11 is when I started seeing angels, right? They would come and like comfort me when I wasn't feeling, good, when I was programmed that I wasn't good enough, and, when I experienced a lot of like abuse. They would come around and like really send me these comforting energies and messages of like, you're not alone, you are loved, all is well. And that, I believed that because it felt good. But then when I went back I was living at my aunt's house. My mom was somewhere else. Anyway, I believed it because it felt good. But then when I went back to the house, it was a different story. Everyone was just like on edge all the time. And it wasn't a good time. So when I was happy, the angels would show up and celebrate with me. And I used to sing very good. Like I had such a good voice. And when I was singing, my aunt said, "Shut up, you can sing." I was like 11. And so that kind of like dimmed my light. And the angels were around, comforting me. And then I started to choose to believe light. That, okay, yeah, I may be experiencing what I'm experiencing here at this house, but I know there's hope. I know there's more. I know there's people and energies that care. So one time after I got physically abused, I went to sit by myself, and they started coming around me to try and comfort me, but the abuse was so bad that I lashed out onto them. I was like, "Why are you here? Leave me alone. Why are you always showing up when I'm in pain?" Forgetting that they also showed up when I was happy to celebrate with me, to really enjoy life and to know that there can be good, there's good in life, right? I'm not here to suffer. I'm here to reprogram myself and step into my light so that I can know who I am and help others. Well, all of that went out the window, and so I kind of like lashed out onto them, "Leave me alone." And they left me alone. Since that day, I haven't been able to see them. I feel them, but I don't see them anymore. So my brain just went blank. Anyway, so that's when my gift started, when I was very young. And so as I grew older, when I was like 22, is when everything started amplifying. Like I would hear voices, "You're not alone," but I wouldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe them because I was experiencing other things, and all the programs that I was programmed with when I was younger, they started getting louder and louder. So I would drink and go out partying and try to forget everything and trying to numb myself, but it didn't work. And so finally, I was living in Nebraska at this time, in Omaha. Finally, I was like, "What do you want from me? What is it?" I broke down and started hearing them again. They never left me. They kept saying, "You're not alone, you're not alone." After that, I had a desire that kind of took over me about learning about energy healing and jumping into personal development to find out who I am. And so I got certified as a Reiki practitioner and do some other things. I became a certified Akashic Record practitioner and actually became advanced in that, which really helped my life. The Akashic Record is probably one of my favorite modalities that I use to this day, because there's a lot that you learn about yourself and about your soul, the journey of your soul. And you get to learn how negative programs are not who you are, and you get to find out what your gifts are. So in 2019, this was after I got certified as a neurotransformational life coach, I went to a coach's retreat. And And there is where I debuted my light language healing that I wasn't consciously aware of. But I had like deja vu, like it had happened before, but this never happened in my real life. But it felt like it happened before, and it happened exactly the way that it did, but I don't have conscious memory of. Anyway, so at that retreat, everyone had like a talent to showcase. You know, some people danced, some people did poetry, and some people acted. And so as someone was on stage, all of a sudden I felt this need, this desire to like open up and like channel. But I didn't know how to consciously do that. Like in that moment, I didn't know how to do it. But it was very persistent. Like, do it. My ego mind and my body's like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm going to look weird. But it wouldn't leave me alone. Like, do it. I'm like, all right. So I talked to some of the coaches that were there. I was like, hi, so I do this thing. And I didn't even know that I did it before that time. For some reason, I was telling them that I do this thing. And it's coming up right now, and, you know, wants me to do it here. And that it's going to be helpful. That's, you know, it's going to heal somebody or whatever. And then both of them, the female coaches I was talking to, said at the same time, do it. And that felt like it went straight through my heart and my whole body. Like, you know, I have to do it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So in that moment, it felt like when my spiritual guides were telling me to do it, because I was the only one hearing them, right? And they were just coming through in my mind. But when I talked to these two coaches, it was like the voices of the guides came from within them, or like, I don't know. This is probably strange, but anyway, it came through them and like went straight through my body to tell me to like just do it. Anyway, so I told them, okay, I'll do it when it's my turn. I'll open up, I'll do it. I was sweating. I started sweating, and like, you know, my heart started like bumping quickly. And so I went to the bathroom. I was like, okay. So I started talking to them. Obviously I don't see them anymore. So I was like, all right, so I'll do it. But what if it doesn't work? What if you guys don't even come through? What happens then? Like, are you guys really gonna come out and like do this? They're like, you're not alone. We're not gonna abandon you. We're right here. We've always been here. Just do it. You're okay. I'm like, okay. So my palms started sweating. So right before I went on, you know, someone else was doing their thing. I think it was poetry. I was sweating. Like my whole body was like, no, you can't do this. But my mind already decided that I will, because I kept getting confirmation that just do it. And so anyway, long story short, it was my turn. So I got there and the room got hot all of a sudden, right? To me, it was like, oh my God, I don't know if I could. So they calmed me down. They're like, no, it's okay. Just, you know, relax. It's all right. This is, if you're going to do it, this is the right place to do it. I'm like, okay, all right. So I started explaining to them what it is that I was going to do. Mind you, I never did this consciously in my current life. So I didn't even know where the words were coming from, but they were like, so they're going to come through and like penetrate everyone's bodies. That sounds strange, I know. They're gonna come through and, you know, just receive the codes, and, you know, you're gonna feel uplifted or whatever. And so right before I started, the room became loud. Like, it's almost like it's something I've never experienced before. Like, all of a sudden everyone started talking fast and loudly amongst themselves, like chattering, just talking and talking. And this voice came through me out of nowhere. It was like, shh. And looked at the two people that were talking. And everyone stopped and looked at me like, and looked at each other and then looked at me again. And then they stopped and they like, you know, paid attention. This loving essence, it's like a mother that has such a pure, nurturing essence came through me. And she's like, so everyone relax. And, you know, she just like started talking to me and like, talking through me. I was conscious, but I was I was like, what's happening right now? Anyway, so she was coming through and telling everyone to just like relax and receive these codes of healing, light language. This is what. Hello, God's chosen. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So everyone relaxed, right? And then she started explaining to them that when the frequencies start to come through my vocal cords, to just relax and to think about what it is that they want to heal, right? To bring it to the consciousness so that the frequencies can come and like literally penetrate through that situation or the problem, or like, you know, the energetic dissonance or energetic blocks that they may be experiencing in their bodies or in their lives. So it's like the way this worked is like, okay, if you have a situation in your life that you don't know how to deal with, they were calling everyone to like bring that to the mind. Or if there's like energetic blocks, or if someone, I remember one time, I remember there was a lady that had chronic pain, you know. So this was after the healing session or whatever. She talked about that. But anyway, so they were calling, everybody did that. And then they asked everyone to close their eyes. And then this otherworldly voice came through. It was like a piercing frequency that shook the whole place. And then, yeah, I know that probably sounds crazy. Anyway, after I got done with that channeling session, they were still there. They wanted to find out if anybody had any questions. And everyone, one by one, started talking about what they felt when the frequency came through. And then this lady that had like chronic pain started crying, and, you know, she's like, I felt this pain for the like most of her life or something like that. And so she's like, I felt it. I literally felt it leave my body. I feel like me again, you know, something like that. And then I noticed that one of the coaches there, she really didn't like care for me much. And so when she was looking at me, this coach, her eyes was like, you know, she was surprised. They told me that, yeah, she thought it was, you know, bullshit. And so she really didn't open up at all. So when the frequencies came, she was surprised, she was shocked, but then she didn't let go of the blocks that she was holding on to in her body. Because as women, I know if you're a woman, excuse me, there's this thing that we have, like, you know, competition and stuff. It's like sometimes it comes from jealousy or whatever, or like, oh, you look like that, you can't do something like this, right? And so she didn't let go of her blocks, and she was just like, so I was like, are you okay? Like, I'm in the background while other people are talking about their experiences with channeling. So they ask her, they're like, are you all right? You know, like the voice comes in. Even now, like when I'm talking, I can feel them in the background, like the voice is wanting to come out, like it's almost like I'm experiencing it again. Anyway, so they ask her, and it's like they come through like a British lady. Anyway, they ask her, are you all right? And it's almost like the words went to her, and so she kind of like relaxed a little bit. She's like, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm just like really shocked. And so like they kind of like nodded, and then they went to the next person, and everyone started talking about their experiences. And some of them, like, there was a lady with like, you know, a big stomach. I don't know if it's a condition or whatever, but anyway, she's like, I felt things move. And so that was the first time that I experienced my light language in the third dimension in that way. So there was a lady standing in the kitchen. She was Catholic. By the way, I grew up Catholic as well. She didn't hear the instruction. This whole time when we were at this retreat, she had a tendency to kind of like be off by herself and like not engage with anyone, not be part of the group. And so she was in the kitchen and she didn't hear the instructions. So when she heard the light language, she stopped what she was doing after, you know, we did everything. She was like holding on to the counter. She's like, And then after everything was done, she came to the living room. That's where we're all sitting. She's like, "What are you guys doing here? What is that? I did not sign up for this." And so everyone was like, "No, it's okay. Calm down. Everything is fine." "No, I did not sign up for this. What about God? What about Jesus? How can she do that? This has to be from the devil." And so everyone's like, "No, we are all unique and different." Like, there are stories in the Bible. There are stories everywhere where, spirit speaks through people. This is from God. She did not want to hear it. And the funny thing is, she was my roommate there. So she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to my room. I'm gonna park. I'm leaving this place." So somebody followed her to the room and made sure she was okay. It's like, "We understand, you don't have to accept it, but yeah, everyone has gifts. And yeah, I did not sign up for this. I came for the coach's retreat, not this. I don't know what you guys are into." And so she left, and everyone was like, "Okay, we're sending you love. You don't have to accept it. It's all right." And so after that happened, I noticed one other lady. She was like extremely nice to me before this situation. And after I did my channeling, she would not talk to me. She would not look at me. I went to her, I said, hi. So, "Yeah, I'm okay. Everything's fine." And she never was that close to me again, like she was before. And so I thought that was fascinating, that the same gift that other people experienced profound healing from, other people were like rejecting it. So that was like another experience where I experienced rejection for something that is innate in me. I can't tell you how that feels, to be rejected for what you do and who you are. So that night, one of the ladies that really enjoyed it, and she like wanted to be close to me all the time, she moved her bags to my room, and so we became good friends. And I started thinking, I'm like, am I wrong? Is this really from the devil? Like, I started getting in my mind about that. And then she's like, "No, don't ever think that. Like, what I experienced cannot come from the devil." And so anyway, even though she was saying that, I appreciated it. And I told her, "Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that." But when I closed my eyes, I started having a conversation with God, because I had some instances where God spoke in my mind very loudly to do something, and I did it. And I'm glad I did, because it produced a lot of like good results. So I started asking God, I'm like, "Is this really from the devil?" And he chuckled and said, "No." Like, yeah, I know it's not from the devil, but I know it sounds silly. So what was happening there was that everything that I was programmed when I was younger, and I found out in that moment that I was still susceptible to negative programming. So I really got in my mind about it. And then I had that awareness. I'm like, okay. So I was listening to negative programming, and, I've been programmed majorly, probably almost, all of my young life. So I stopped that right away. I stopped believing what other people thought. And I was like, okay, if God says it's not wrong, I'm not going to make myself wrong for doing what I do. So I should mention that my light language gift didn't come through until after I did an Akashic Record reading, right? There were some blockages that was actually preventing this gift to come through because of a past life where I was burnt at a stake in Egypt. I was called a witch, and they burned me alive. And I experienced that through, Akashic Record reading, and then it also came up through past life regression that I did. And so it was like, okay, she was actually literally talking to me when she was burning. She's like, "This is the time for you to open up to your gifts. Let them come through. Express them boldly. Don't hide." It was very intense. But so this is why I love self-awareness, because you really don't know the gifts that you have, right? We sort of have to get away from the noise of the world and from the limiting patterns that keep us safe and hidden. We all have gifts that we come in with. And so this is why your energy is very, very important. when you know who you are safe within your own body, your own vessel. When you know who you are, you begin to hear your spirit guides and the spiritual team that's around you clearly. And, some people don't hear. Some people feel the guidance. They just feel like, this warm, loving essence around them that's telling them that everything is okay. You're all right. Everything is all right. Right? And it literally feels like a warm blanket of being nurtured. And you begin to know that, yeah, I'm not alone, because I've felt too much. I've experienced too much to think that I'm alone. But the world will have us programmed to believe that we're a mere human and we're here to struggle. And who we are doesn't really matter. It's not true. Some of the people that are in power, they know this. They know that there's a connection back to the divine, back to God, that we all have. And so it's like they do everything that they can to keep us under the blanket of limitation. Sometimes they send, they talk about truth just enough, just a little bit, so you don't go digging deeper. If anything, they program, especially like in religion, they program us to seek truth from an external authority, effectively, severing ourselves from our own power, thinking that, okay, we can't be good enough to go within and actually have a conversation with God. We can't do that. It has to be from someone in the church, Now, please understand, I'm not bashing anyone. This is from my own experience. The divine lives in you, but you can't hear that voice if you're always bombarded by negative programs by others. So how many of you guys have ever heard of the Akashic Record or any healing modality? What have you done that has really helped you believe in the divine or God? I don't know if my comments are on. Let's see. So, by the way, today is my second day. Let me see. Going live. I just want to see if they're okay. So today is my second day going live. I feel a strong pull to share about my experiences. And, this is a time that we're being called to show up, to really tap into our divine nature and show up as authentically as we can. Because when you're not authentic, you have other programs and other people's energies, sort of limiting you and telling you how to be. Welcome, Chad Young and Nathaniel D. Clapp. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Is anybody there? I can't tell. So one other thing I'm gonna say before I get off. Anything that is created, any program that is created, whether it's helpful or not, it sort of it has to experience itself, because a conscious being created it in the third dimensional level, in the subconscious mind, whether that's somebody outside of ourselves or we created a program to sort of keep ourselves safe within limitation, that has to be experienced in the body and energetically. So this is where you find that you don't know who you are, first of all, right? Secondly, this program is going to play itself out in your mind and in your energy. So this is where you find that you were waking up and then all of a sudden you have negative thoughts in your mind. No matter what you do, you still wake up with just negative thoughts or feelings of anxiety or unworthiness or whatever. It's because a program was created at some point, whether you created it or someone else did, that keep you playing in that program until you decide to look at it and clear it and disprove it, really. If you don't do that, it's like you are inviting it on as part of your truth when it's not. Because it was created, it's gonna reinforce itself. It sort of has, it has to fight for its existence in your life through your mental and your energy body and your emotional body. Because the program knows that it's not supposed to be there. But because it was created, it's going to perpetuate itself. It's basically what's happening here is it's saying, pick me every day. So this is translated through what you feel and the thoughts that just pop up out of nowhere. They're saying, pick me. Don't forget about me. And they're usually loud. Your truth is not as loud as some of the thoughts and emotions that you feel. It knows that it's not supposed to be there, but for it to perpetuate its own existence, it's going to give you hell. Pick me. Don't forget about me. Then you begin, for example, I used to wake up with thoughts of, I'm not good enough, because that's a program that was created. So in the morning, I would wake up with just feeling like I'm worthless. And then in my mind, stories will come up as evidence of that program. Stories in my mind would pop up when I used to work. How certain coworkers will try to get under your skin. Yeah, so I would think of an experience will pop in my mind to reaffirm and as evidence of the feeling that I'm not good enough. And so when that thought popped in my mind, it's like, it makes sense. Here's the evidence, right? And so when you go to the root cause of the program and you clear it, you begin to see yourself differently. You begin to feel your own divinity. You begin to come from a place of authentic alignment. And you will find that when you do that, certain people are going to fall off from your life. They're going to sort of demanifest themselves from your life. And some people are not going to accept you, but they will want to stay around you because they like your energy. But you can tell the moment you do a reading, especially Akashic Record Reading, you can tell because your energy it will let you know that this person is not being authentic to you. They are pretending. They want your energy. They want to continue to siphon your energy, but they're not really happy for you. They don't want you to be happy. And so that's why you make a decision, because like I said, your energy is very important. If you let other people program you with their intentions of how they want you to be, you will always be like that. You will basically be a tool for someone else's programs. So if you're interested about the Akashic Record Reading, I'm offering Akashic Record Reading right now at 50% off. Just send me a message saying Akashic Reading and I'll know that you are interested. This is if you are interested and you want to really change your life in a big way. It's really going to help you. It's really going to change your life. I'm offering this because I know how valuable it is. It's very transformative and you begin to literally feel your own energy. You begin to really understand who you are at a soul level. You begin to understand what your soul energies are. Because not every energy that's out there is meant to be used by everybody. God decided to express themselves as different parts of the all. With that difference, that means that there's a way to access your unique divinity and how you can use it to better your own life. You get to find out what negative patterns you are currently operating from that keep you limited, that keep you thinking the same, feeling the same, experiencing the same situations over and over again. Sometimes some of my clients literally experience the same relationship, but different people. So they keep attracting the same person, but different bodies, basically. And so when they find out what pattern created, what choice that they made that created that pattern that keeps going on, and they clear that, they begin to manifest consciously. They're not asleep anymore. It's the same thing like with career. People keep hopping from one job to another. It's big, there's something there. I healed ancestral traumas. I healed a curse that was placed upon women in my family. It actually came from a different generation where before I healed my own blocks about this, none of the women in my immediate family had loving relationships. None. They would be in a relationship and something happens and they're alone. But after I healed this ancestral trauma, we all have, well, except for one person because she wants to stay single, which is fine. We all have loving relationships now. So this is the beauty of the Akashic Record Reading. You can heal your whole life, but that's if you choose it. That's if you want it. You have to choose change. But you really don't have to. There's nothing you have to do, but everything is there. Limitation is there. Healing is also there. You as a conscious being here with divine will get to choose what you are going to experience, what is going to enhance your life. No one can force you to change, and it's okay if you don't choose to heal. Sometimes when we are in certain programs, welcome Joshua, thank you for joining. Sometimes when we are in certain patterns, it's like we're still learning lessons in these patterns, and so we're not ready. And that's okay. If you think about it, we're here as divine beings to experience ourselves and our lives in whatever way we choose. So I'm going to give you two energies, right? It's a polarity, right? So on one end, there's limitation, and on another, there's freedom. As a being, you come in and say, let's see, third dimension is a playground where limitation thrives. What do I want to start with? Limitation, freedom. You begin, something's popping on my, all right. So let's say you get birthed in a situation where there's extreme limitation. You experience that and you're like, okay, I'm done now. I want to experience something different. So this is where you begin to work on yourself and begin to tap into the other side of this polarity, freedom. But before you can get to freedom, you know that the same patterns are not going to work where you're going. You're going to sort of have to understand what's going on in your at the spiritual level so that you can heal that and then begin to choose freedom. Freedom in your mind, freedom in your emotions, freedom in your energy and spiritual body, so that when you get to the other end, you are sovereign in your own being. No one's energies are influencing you or the decision you choose to make. You are free to do anything you want. You are free to create anything that you consciously choose to create. No one is dictating where your energies are going, where your thoughts, what types of thoughts you're thinking. You are completely free in all of your bodies. So if you're interested in an Akashic Record reading, or if you just want to find out what it is and the benefits of getting an Akashic Record reading, just DM me or message me Akashic reading and I'll know that you are interested, and then we can go from there. I can explain what they are, and whatever situation that you're going through, there's a way to get out of it, but you have to want it. And if there's any women here, I am hosting a free feminine energy activation on March 8th, 1 p.m. Arizona time, which is, I think, Mountain time. So if you're interested in that free session, click the link in the bio and sign up, and I cannot wait to see you in the webinar. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be back later this evening. I'll go live, and then also I'll be back tomorrow as well. I want to keep this going. Today's my second day. I'm sort of keeping myself accountable because I know I have a lot to share, and so I trust that whoever resonates to this is ready. They called this into their lives for a reason. And so thank you for joining, and I will see you this evening if you come on, or tomorrow morning same time. Thank you so much. Bye, 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 bye.